Okay, shall we hear from him now, Glenn?
Yeah,
You teed that up
nice,
perfectly for us. Here's Graham Potter.
Better than listening to us.
So, Graham, a night that began with a lot of excitement, anticipation, ends in, what would you say, disappointment, frustration? How would you put it?
Well, there's disappointment because we didn't win, of course, and I think we could all sense the excitement. We all sense the positivity. There was definitely that in the team. I think you have to credit Fulham because they're a well-organised defensive unit. We at times did quite well. At times you could see the lack of connection that you would expect from a team that's got a few guys coming back from injury or been integrated into the team. So it is where we're at the moment, but things to work forward with and things to improve.
Yeah, so I was going to say, what was missing and is down to new players coming back, things taking time to gel?
Well, in a football team, sometimes you need that connection, like I said, that understanding from each other, just to sharpen up the decisions, sharpen up the executions.
Was that rhythm, combinations, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, when you've got, Reece has come back, it's his first game for a while. Enzo's making his first game for us after a day's training, and Misha as well, getting up to speed. So there's a few things to consider there. And like I said, playing against a team that knows what they're doing, that are well organised, defensively strong. With Mitrovic, always a handful. So. Yeah, we have to be disappointed, of course, with the points, but at the same time, we're moving forward as a team, and we'll get better for the experience.
So, a lot of excitement around Enzo, and quite a week for him, as you touched on. What did you make of his debut?
Oh, really good. I mean, like I said, considering he's been in the country not very long, and he doesn't know us, we don't know him, so well in terms of working daily. But I think you can see flashes of his quality, his personality's there, and he'll get better and better the more we work with him.
And the other new boys, Mudryk, obviously you took off at half-time. What was the thinking there?
Well, he's had a heavy cold this week and he was just feeling heavy-legged at half-time. We didn't want to take a chance with him. He's still in a process where we're building up his minutes because of his break that he's been on in Ukraine. So that was a decision there. I thought Noni came on and did well. Benoit as well as a new player has settled in alongside Thiago well. So there are positives there for us. We just need to gel and improve the team.
So how long do you think that takes? How much patience is needed, or does not even the coach know that?
Well, it's not. I can't stand in front of you here and give you a time scale. It's our job is to improve. Daily and weekly, and that's the challenge. That's the coaching process. We have to settle down. We have to work with the players. The window's shut, and we have to move forward.
You've also talked about tough decisions, and I wonder if we've seen at least one of those today with Aubameyang not in the matchday squad, not in the Champions League squad either. Can you see a way back for him? Is he still part of your plans?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I had to explain. It was a tough call because he's done nothing wrong, but we wanted to give a bit of minutes to David and give him that opportunity. But Pierre's with us. He'll be with us for the rest of the season, and he'll be fighting for his place.
Is that the biggest challenge for you, managing a big group full of world-class players?
Well, there's always challenges here. There's lots of challenges at different parts of the club, but it's a fantastic challenge. It's nothing for me to complain about at all. It's exciting, and I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Graham.
Thank you.
Thank you. All the best, mate. Cheers.
Finally, you can buy English football at a very low price. Enjoy Premier League and Champions League full replay matches, as well as analysis shows from Premier League TV, BBC, BT Sports, and Sky Sports. Uncut with full footage. Enjoy weekend reviews, previews, tactical analysis, and more. Join us today at the link in the description below, www.primeshows.net.
I imagine he's thinking it's a good problem for him to have, Glenn, the fact that he's got all of this money to spend, that he's got all these new players in, some quality players as well. But you know what it's like to be a manager, so how difficult will this also be for him to get the right balance with the starting 11 he chooses?
I think that's going to be the major reason whether he stays there long term, which I think the club want him to stay. But I think that is the key. At the moment, he's rebuilding every week he's building the team. And I feel a little bit sorry for him in the sense that I've seen so many interviews post-match, and it's been similar interviews. Well, there's room for improvement. There were some good things we've done, but we've got to improve on this. And he hasn't really had a team where I say, look, there's the Chelsea team. He doesn't know yet what his best team is. Even though if you have a best team, a little bit like Fulham had, and play your best 11 or 13, the rest are not going to be happy. That's then the double problem he's got. But at the end of the day, he's got quality there. Every manager in the world just wants, it's about players and how you mould them, what system you play. If you've got top quality players, which he's got there, you know, and he's going to work with them, this is going to take a little bit longer than he thought when he come from Brighton. Because of the new players coming in as well, the injuries, they've had a lot of injuries to key players as well, which is a fact, not an excuse. But I just feel sorry at the moment. He's not really, he can't come on the front foot with his interviews. He always seems to be at the moment because the results are, and the team's in different play. He's on the back foot all the time. And I think that's going to be a frustrating year for him. He's saying he's excited. He can see improvement because of the quality of the player he's working with. But I think he's going to have to be patient. I really do. And Chelsea fans are going to have to be patient.
Yeah, we know he likes a lot of tactical variety. We've seen that in his time at Brighton before. But from the changes that you point out, Glenn, 64 changes in 15 games to that starting 11. He's clearly still trying to work things out. One thing that is certain, though, is Enzo Fernandez had a solid debut to assess his first start.
Exactly as Graham Potter said there. You know, his position, his positional sense was brilliant. He started off fantastically well. He looked like he'd been in the Premier League for years. You know, he's managed to find a way to get on the ball very often. Even when he was picking the ball up in tight areas, tight spaces, he managed to find that half a yard of space to deliver a pinpoint pass, whether it be a short one or a long one like that. Under pressure, lovely couple of touches. But when you've got somebody like that in the middle of the pitch who breaks up play really well, but also distribution, like we saw there, we've almost got himself an assist to an assist, it kind of frees up the creative players to go forwards and do the things that they do really well better. You know, they've got that confidence in him that he's going to win the ball back and give them the ball in the attacking areas.
Looking at him here, Jermaine, I think he'll end up, look at this, he'll end up in them positions as an 8. I think he'd be an 8. I think he can play in any of them positions in midfield. He played in that holding role, looked like he'd been playing there for Chelsea all his life. Kept the ball simple, couple of diagonals, hit the best ball of the game. You know, the ball over the top there when they had Havertz had a chance. But for me, looking at him, he's got more in the locker.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's going to be pushed forward. Now, who's going to play that holding role? You know, if Kante comes back and he's fit, okay, but he's still off it a little bit. Kovacic won't do it. Who's going to play there? Jorginho's gone. And I think he's going to have to play in that position. But I'll tell you what, there's more to come from that kid. It really is. In a better position, you'll see him really flourish.
But still plenty to pick through, because with Chelsea, we saw 5 of their January signings either start or come on as a substitute. But it was still the same old Chelsea, Glenn. Still not quite clicking.
No, they're not quite there yet. I know there's something missing there. I think it's difficult at the moment for Graham Potter to pick his best team. He doesn't know his best team by any means. Even going into the transfer window, he was still trying to find out his system, the balance. In all departments, I think Thiago Silva is a must. He's a shoo-in. But everyone else, like, you know, it's a mismatch. Whereas Fulham, on the other hand, Marco Silva knows what his best 11 are. And if he can keep to them 11, he will play them week in and week out, and the system works. And you just see the difference there, and that's why it was such a balanced game today. It really was, and Fulham have made great strides. But as for Chelsea, yeah, there's a lot of work to do. Hey, listen, he's got lovely material to make a beautiful suit out of it, because he's got some good players there. But it's going to have to take more time, actually, with these new players. I'm interested to see if Mudryk was injured when he went off at half-time. I know he's had a winter break. He hasn't had much football, so it might have been through protection. But let's hope he wasn't injured, because at the end of the day, we didn't see him, did we? We were very disappointed in him. He looked really sharp against Liverpool, but it was it was flat from his point of view. But I thought Fernandez played well. He looked as if he's just going to get better and better. Probably will play in a more advanced position.
They are. They're flying, aren't they, Jermaine? And when you hear that, there is belief. There's belief in that Fulham dressing room that they can go and reach a European place. How big an achievement would that be for them?
That would be incredible. Look, we're talking about a team that have been promoted from the Championship last season and continued that incredible run onto this season. You know, I initially thought it was just the promotional bounce. When you get promoted from one league to another, you continue that run of form, that confidence that you all have, that you start with. And together, they've got such a togetherness that they're building a new type of brand of football, which is working perfectly for himself, but also Marco Silva and the fan base as well. It's amazing to watch.
And during the season, Glenn, when questions have been asked of Fulham, it's been about, well, how are they going to cope when Mitrovic isn't in the side? Well, we've seen it, and they've coped just fine.
He didn't play today, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. They got yanked off on that free kick, which I couldn't work out. They're in a dangerous position. But no, I think there's a belief about this team. Tim was saying it. It's interesting. It just proves how difficult and how competitive and how difficult and hard this Premier League is when you've got a team 6th in the league at this moment in time and they're still talking about survival. And that's the difference, because you could go on a 3 or 4 bad run, as you can go on a good run in this league. And I think they're realistic. And he said there are a bunch of lads that all want to work and play well for each other. So that no one wants to be the main man, everyone's in it for each other. So you've got that team bond and that spirit. But they're technically a good side. They've got a balance to their team. And at the moment, if Mitrovic can still continue to score goals and they can create enough crosses, they'll have a fabulous season. Where they'll end up, probably top half of the table, that would be a great season for them. It must be something about that West London air, because Brentford came up, everyone thought, they'll go back down again. And look what they've done. Yeah. And with hard work and team spirit and all them things that go with football, they're not the best technically team, but they'll work hard. They're going to stay in the league. We know. We can say it. The players themselves will go, it's about survival. But they're certainties to be in the top half of the league.
Well, I think Chelsea will want a bit more of that West London air, won't they? Let's get some reaction from their camp now. We can hear from one of their new signings. He came on at half-time. Madueke's been talking to us.
Nonny, obviously a special night for you personally, with it being your Chelsea debut, your Premier League debut. Let's start with the team. What's the mood in that dressing room you just walked out of?
Obviously, we're disappointed. We didn't win the game, which we set out to do. And so at the end of the day, disappointment, but there were positives to take from the game, so we'll just work hard and go into the West Ham game next week.
For you, what were the major positives?
I felt like in spades, we controlled the game with possession. And obviously, we just couldn't get the decisive goal. That's really it.
And them being hard to break down, how much is that their organisation, which they've shown all season long, and how much is it you guys sort of getting to know each other a bit?
Yeah, probably a bit of both. Obviously, they're a very organised team, very physical. Obviously, we have a lot of new players, and I'm sure in time we'll know each other's game more naturally. But they're a good side. Credit to them. They're defensively sharp and they don't give much away.
So what's it been like for you the week or so since you came in? Bit crazy?
Not really, just obviously 2 weeks training. And just getting to know the boys, getting to know the club. And just been good training sessions, and thank God that I made my debut tonight, but obviously upset that we didn't get the win.
So you say, thank God, your Premier League debut, your Chelsea debut, how long have you been dreaming of that?
Yeah, it's a dream come true. For any boy, any young boy wants to play in the Premier League, and then for one of the best clubs in the world in Chelsea, obviously it's a dream come true. I'm thankful and blessed.
Well played.
Thank you.
Well, it's really good to hear from one of Chelsea's new signings, isn't it? I think we were all a bit surprised that he came out to do that interview, but he seems very relaxed, very casual in his approach to doing the media duties as well. But what did you make of him out on the pitch? Because you wanted to see more from Mudryk, and he was the player that came on for him. He eventually moved into his more favoured position on the right-hand side when Sterling came on. Is that where we saw him more effective?
I think so. Every time he picked the ball up, he was very direct, he was very quick. Look, he showed no fear, and for somebody that's making his debut, that's exactly the kind of impact you want. The thing that was missing from his game today was the final pass or the final shot, that it just takes a split second just to slow it down in the final third. But we see here, he picks the ball up, he looks at the defender, what am I going to do? Whip. Lovely cross as well, almost made it through to Raheem Sterling. But he had a lot to his game. He got back here, won the ball on the edge of his own 18-yard box. Lovely feet, moves the ball really well. But then he doesn't stand still and admire his pass. He's thinking to himself, right, where can I be a menace? Where could I be a problem for this Fulham defence? Picks the ball up, lovely through ball here to Mason Mount. You'd expect him to cut back onto his left foot and try and get a shot on target. But overall, I thought it was a really good performance. A far better improved performance than the first half.
Yeah, it was a good debut from him, wasn't it, Glenn? Are those attributes and those characteristics Jermaine just described something that's been missing from Chelsea this season?
A tad. I think Mason Mount's found it a little bit. That's the sort of thing that Mason would do consistently. He's found it a little bit difficult. But straight away, the kid's come on and done more than what Ziyech has done and Mudryk. So at the end of the day, that is a fantastic way for him to start his Chelsea career. I don't care what you say. The things that he did coming off the line, you know, they're the things that you can't coach. It's intelligence. He showed a lot of intelligence. He showed a lot of skill on the ball. He's got pace. He's got a bit of guile. And in his interview, he's pretty laid back. And he played that way.
Quite nonchalant,
he played that way. But
yeah.
I tell you what, he looks like he's got. And listen, it's too easy to judge. We can't go over the top with these players. I remember watching Hudson-Odoi and everyone was going, wow, wow, wow. And I said, hey, listen, he's got a lot to learn, that kid. And this kid will have a lot to learn. Of course he will. But he looked to me as if he had end product. Everything positive. And that's when a coach and a group of coaches and a manager, you've got something to work with. And he'll be excited about that, Graham Potter. He won't be happy with only getting the point, but some of them debuts there, he'll be delighted with.